Thank you, Chair. Dear friends, together with the economic crisis that hit the European Union, democratic crisis has emerged in our common area in recent years. We are thus faced with a political and ethical challenge now. It is very important to recall that the protection of the fundamental rights is an essential pillar of the Union, as, if I may say, the goal of the European construction, not a cherry on a pastry as it seems to be now. The prospect of turning to the Union is appealing to more than one. It is, among others, an effective tool for economic development. But the European Union, fortunately, is not just a distribution of subsidiaries. It is, above all, first of all, a collective space that conveys democratic values to their highest degree, if possible. Nevertheless, today the democratic model promoted and disseminated by the European Union has been shaken. Once they have finalized their integration into the EU member states, become too forgetful of the democratic principles they pledge, they say, to implement during the accession process. They promise to do, but they don't most of the time practice. This is for the member state, but this is the same point of view seen from me for the government and parliament of the European Union. The time for promises quickly comes to an end. Their stables, their hid behind a dubious interpretation of the principle of subsidiarity that the EU should not intervene in the field of the proper application of democratic principles within its member states. Of course, it is not the truth. The ALDE group, in which I belong, proposes to establish the Democratic Governance Pact, a democratic governance pact, because maintaining the rule of law and human rights in Europe regules increased vigilance in respect of the democratic commitments made by the state before they join the EU. We must not compromise on this issue, nor avoid the possibility of heavily penalizing states that violate the maintenance of our democratic model. In this perspective, certainly the Article 7 of the EU Treaty should be considered not as a distant horizon. Maybe some of them are talking of the Article 7 like the atomic bomb. No, it is not an atomic bomb. No, it is just an opportunity instrument for the protection of fundamental rights over all the population of Europe. However, our Charter also provides a precise system for evaluating respect for fundamental rights with an annual audit evaluation, monitoring rapid sanctions before it's too late, before it becomes too late. The European Union must adopt instruments capable of ensuring the implementation of its value of which it is so proud that we mention, but we do not really practice on many member states. I will not get into an exhaustive list of abuses identified in the different members of the Union, but we have today a lot of examples. But we are now in a country where the government may be ashamed. I'm sorry, because I love the Hungarian population very much. I know very well his history. But I may say we are ashamed of this government, and we shall not be more tolerant for the times being. Hungarian civil society, under pressure, institute measures discriminating against non-national companies in the economic field. Do you remember? Implicit surveillance law on the judiciary, ignoring the concept of a republic in the new constitution, anti-Semitic and anti-Roma demonstration by tolerance every week in this country. So it could not go more further if the European government, I say the Council, please repeat to the Council one day, Mr. Ambassador. Yes, no, I'm serious. The Council may examine his own way of governing. And the European Commission, of course, the last Commission, had two commissioners who didn't do anything on that field. I'm very sorry to rethink that true way, but they didn't did anything. We, the Parliament, we asked for them to examine which kind of scale could be voted between the level and the Article 7. Nothing has been done, just words. And it is a very bad example for the other opinion, because my opinion is that if there are very big difficulties for the civil rights, emerging a true civil society in Hungary, this is not the only country, because it becomes an example of bad tolerance over union. I had many other points to explain, but I will not keep the floor for a long time. We will proceed. We will send to the script of the conference what the democratic Pact of governance we are thinking to contains in terms of measures. But now the time has come to do what is our duty, what is our job: policy, true policy, only policy, and not bargaining anything. Thank you very much.